Good evening, everybody. You got Kody Ashmore, Director of Weekly Option Strategies. Obviously here at Simpler Trading, and in tonight's options free video, what I would like to do is talk to y'all about utilizing the anchored VWAP. And the reason I want to mention it to you awesome people out there is because it's something new in my toolbox and I'm wanting to use it more as a way to finesse entries and exits on my setups. And the reason I think it is so important is because it is literally the line in the sand between buyers and sellers from a specific point that you choose to anchor it to, right? Like there's no interpretation. It's literally if price is above it, buyers are in control. If price is below it, sellers are in control. And ultimately, what matters is which side you're on. And you apply that to technical analysis, and I think you can only have better outcomes. All right, and so it's something new I'm using. And I want to talk to y'all about 3 setups, 2 that we're currently in, and 1 I was watching, but I didn't pull the trigger on it because I haven't been using it so much, and I'm not 100% sure, obviously, how far the market's going to pull back. So I was just being patient on it. But I will show you how I've been using it. And what I really want to do, or an ask of you, is if you are using the anchored VWAP in your setups and you have experience using it for a while, please let me know. Like, write it in the comment section here in this video. I answer well, I don't say I answer. I come back to Simpler's page and I look at questions that are asked from the videos I produce, and I answer every question. And I love to connect with y'all that have been using it, and I'm curious how it's working out for y'all. So all that being said, I want to talk about 2 setups that we're in and 1 that I didn't pull the trigger on, but amazingly it worked, and it's kind of interesting. I didn't pull it, like I said, because I was hesitant on how far the pullback's going to go. All right, so the first one is Netflix, right? In the options room and in the small account mentorship, we are actually short Netflix. And the reason being is it rallied up into this resistance level. By resistance level, I'm just pointing up to this little box right here, draw this line across. And so it's rallied up to this zone as the market's been extended. I guess it could have gone a little higher, but we had this big bearish engulfing candle, right? Big bearish engulfing candle encompassed most of these days here. And what happened on yesterday in Netflix, and I have anchored VWAP from the highs. So this is the box that is resistance. Going back to the day chart here so you can see it. So I have it right here, this box drawn, draw it across, and it prints a bearish engulfing candle into resistance. And I plotted that anchored VWAP, right, like I mentioned. Now I want to go back to the hourly time frame. And right there, as I was actually doing my session, if y'all were with me, if you weren't with me, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I'll go here. So this line right here, this one right here, is the anchored, this line right here is the anchored VWAP from the highs. So since the major swing high, where's the line in the sand where sellers are in control? Right here. Right, so price spiked up into it and failed. All right, so since the highs, the sellers are still in control. And we initiated that 405 put calendar spread, right? And so we used technicals, being that price rallied up into resistance. We have a bearish engulfing candle. And from that point, we just used this to finesse our entry, right? So we got short, it chopped around all day, but actually I applied an anchored VWAP from that swing high, and you see how that's actually been the line in the sand for now. That's the precursor to the next move lower, but we'll see where price goes tomorrow. But all that being said, so we had a level, we had a technical perspective, which was that bearish engulfing candle, and then we had an anchored VWAP that initiated the short, and we're just using that as our guide to take price lower. Right, so hopefully that makes sense. So let's cover the next one. Let's cover Tesla. This one, I did get short Tesla today. I did alert it. Playing with fire as it's been roaring higher, but yes, I got short Tesla. All right, so how and why did I get short Tesla? Oh, there it is. I'm about to say, is it going to show up? But I was waiting for the box. All right, so first off, what I want to show is, right, it's all about levels and technicals first, and then using the anchored VWAP to finesse entry. So once again, got short. I won't say once again because I can't say I once again got short Tesla, but I used technicals to an anchor VWAP to get short. So anyways, there's this level right here, draw a line across. It was support here, oscillated near it there, was support here, was resistance, ended up breaking out, being support, support, flush lower, and then obviously the prices rallied all the way back up into the same level, right? So I'm expecting this to be resistance. And also Tesla is about like it was about the third or fourth ATR away from the 21 EMA. So that being said, prices extended. All right, so next is prices extended into resistance. Oh, and actually today we had because I entered the position before the close, but it had quite a bit of volume today on this bearish engulfing candle. So bearish engulfing candle, and I'll show y'all here this. You know, first day one, you have your big move up. The next day, you have a gap up to here, and then we sell off to the bottom. All right, so today I finessed it a little bit differently. So I noticed we were printing a bearish engulfing candle, and then what I did was I went ahead and finessed entry by I have a anchored VWAP applied to the highs, and that's what this line is right here. So price flush lower, and when we oscillated here, we actually got in just a call credit spread looking for price to push lower. And just using this as the guide to move to the downside, right? Now, and these are two incidences, I guess is what I should say, where it's been so far working well. I'm sure there's going to be a time where it doesn't quite work. But you can see how we applied it to the highs, which is right here. And then it was the line in the sand. We got the flush, retested, failed. And then whenever it pushed up this way, I was watching it, and that is when we had it was retracing about 50% of the yesterday's body, just looking for it to pause and push back down after it was just a midday rally. Ultimately, obviously, ideally, it would have been great if it would have pushed higher, but if it would have pushed up to here, and say it breaks this level tomorrow, but okay, well, in that case, then the buyers are back in control from the highs, and then I'll just get out of the way. But I'm curious to see how y'all have been, if anyone's been using the anchored VWAP for their positions. So please let me know if you have. Now here's one I didn't take. So that's two shorts, right? That was basically two strong rallies into resistance, bearish engulfing candles, anchored VWAPs got us into position. Now what's one I didn't pull the trigger on was Shopify. I was watching Shop. I mean, it looks great. It's a great continuation long trade. It's in a bullish squeeze. Came down to the daily 21 EMA. It has green 10x bars. It's at the top of its yearly channel, stacked EMAs, VWAP stack positive. Everything just says it wants to go higher, right? And so how do we choose when to go long? Like, how do we know price isn't going to do this? Right, rallied up, come back. How do we know the price isn't going to just do that? Well, we don't know, but we could use anchored VWAP to help us decide who's in charge. And I was watching it, like I said, I didn't pull the trigger because I'm a little bit hesitant on how extended the market is. But in hindsight, I mean, it would have been easy, low risk, high reward trade. So Shopify, like I mentioned to y'all, is in a, like I showed you on this chart, is looking great. Bullish there, right? Everything just says like green, 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 green. Everything wants to go up green. All right. So how do we know how is this going to work out here? So I do have an anchored VWAP from earnings. So since earnings, who's been in control? And then I have an anchored VWAP from the swing highs. All right, cool. So how do you know when to buy that dip? Well, if you come over here to the 5-minute time frame, look, price came all the way down, close to that anchored VWAP. Like this could have been a good time to, and it's the coulda, woulda, shoulda game right here. But came down to the anchored VWAP. It could have bounced up here, and then okay, cool. We kind of got long on that breakout there. Stop on the other side of anchored VWAP, and then just see where it goes. And I'll watch it tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe we'll pull back again and maybe give another chance. But at the moment, you can see the power in it. Basically, big picture, it looks bullish. Great. So how do we finesse our entries? I mean, that's a small risk for a potential big reward, and something I want to keep adding to my toolbox. So that's all I have for y'all. I hope y'all found it helpful. Maybe something to add to y'all's toolbox if you currently are using it. But if you have any questions, by all means, throw them in the comment section of this video. I always come back and check them. And if you have been using it, let me know how it's been working out for you and how you've been using it. I'm curious to hear that too. but I'm just applying big picture technicals and using it to finesse entries. But everyone have a great rest of your evening, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me